Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're gonna be talking about my flight to Washington State. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's segment is another chikahan with me. And for today's topic, we're gonna be talking about my experience flying alone to United States. It's June 18, 2020, and exactly 6 months ago today, I took the biggest leap of faith in my life, and that is to travel to United States by myself. Yes, you heard it right. I traveled alone. My fiance just met me at Seattle International Airport. And I admit it was a very scary experience. And days before that, I was anxious. I was even questioning myself if I would really be able to make it flying alone. Would I be fine? But I was reassured by my fiance, who is my husband now, that I'll be fine. And I thought to myself that I think it's about time to tick this in my bucket list, and that is to travel outside Philippines by myself. I know in myself that traveling alone can be scary, so I just reminded myself at that time to start it right. My flight was scheduled to depart at around 10 o'clock in the morning, so I made sure that as early as 7 o'clock I should be in the airport, so I would be one of those who can check in their luggages first. As soon as the airline says that I can check in my luggages, I checked in my luggages, and then I paid also for travel taxes, which was around 1,200 pesos plus at that time. I don't know how much now. For those who don't know, this is a little trivia for you guys. I worked in Mactan Cebu International Airport for 5 years, and I am a Cebuana, so Mactan Cebu International Airport is my port of exit. So it was an emotional day for me at that time. My office mates had this little surprise for me. Actually, I think it was a Wednesday, if I'm not wrong. It was a Wednesday, so my office mates were there with me in the boarding gate. But back to you guys for my tip. So once you arrive at the airport, check with your airline if you can check in your luggages already. Then proceed to checking in your luggage. Don't worry, you can always get out of the terminal as long as you did not go through the immigration yet. After I checked in my luggages and paid for my terminal fee and terminal tax, I went out and spent more time with my family before going through the immigration booth. There was only one question, and that was, what was my reason for traveling to United States? And I just answered it briefly, and after that the immigration officer just stamped my passport, and then I was allowed to get inside the boarding gate. From the immigration, I went straight to the boarding gate to wait for my boarding time, and for the whole time my office mates were there to give me company. It was a very emotional experience, really. And then when I get inside the plane, I was hoping that I will be seated next to a Filipina, but then it did not happen. My seatmate was Chinese, but I was grateful of the seat that I was given. So it was a nice experience. It was a 3-hour flight from Cebu to Taiwan. The airline that I flew with was Eva Air, so the layover was in Taiwan, and that was for 6 hours. Since it was just a 6-hour layover, we were just advised to stay inside the airport. So I just spent time inside the boarding gate. I just explored the terminal, just explored the food, and hours have passed. It was already 8 o'clock, and it's time for us to board the plane. So I was excited. My mind was like, this is it. This is really the flight to US. I was seated next to a Vietnamese, and it was amazing because the seat between us was empty. So we were so happy that we have a space. You know that feeling that to be traveling for a long time and to be seated with And also, guys, according to my husband and according to his experience, it is not really wise to have a connecting flight in China. So make sure when you buy your ticket, check where is your layover, check that it's not in China. It could be wherever but not China. So that's why he bought a ticket that the layover is in Taiwan. And I'm very happy about that because it was a very smooth process. And he said if the connecting would have been in China, it would take me maybe 2 hours just to get through the connecting boarding gate. But with Taiwan, it took me maybe 10-20 minutes tops to get to my boarding gate. So it was a smooth experience in Taiwan. So I would recommend also Taiwan as the connecting or the layover. The flight from Taiwan to Seattle was 10 hours, but for me it was a pleasant experience because first I was seated on the window seat and then the middle seat was empty. And then my seatmate was a Vietnamese and was very friendly. During your flight there will be meals provided. As for my flight, I was given 2 meals for my 10-hour long flight. But I did not take my first meal because when I was waiting for my flight, I was just eating in the airport terminal. So I have no room for food. So I just said to the flight stewardess, no. But then definitely my breakfast, I took it. Yes. It was a very pleasant experience for me. And I would say to have a very nice seatmate is a big factor also. So I am grateful. I just forgot to get her name, but I was grateful to her. She was nice to me. And also the middle seat was empty, so there was a big space for us to, move. During my flight, I watched movies, but most of the time I was sleeping. Because of the time difference, I left Cebu December 18, but I also arrived in Seattle December 18, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When I disembarked the plane, I just follow the crowd, and then when I get to the airport terminal, and especially in the immigration area, I just look for my category so I would know which lane should I take. So there would be a lane for citizens, there will be a lane for green card holders, and there will be a lane for people like us who are in K1 visa. So I lined up under K1. When I get to the immigration officer, I handed him my yellow packet. I greeted him good afternoon, and then while he was checking for my yellow packet, he asked me for my passport, so I gave my passport also. And then while he was checking for my passport against my yellow packet documents, he asked me for my name and my date of birth. I gave him my full name and my date of birth. And then after that, he asked me what was my reason for visiting United States. So I just told him that I'm on a K1 visa and I am here for my wedding. And he said, congratulations. And he asked me where I met my fiancé. I answered him very briefly. And then after that, he said, how long have you known him? And I also answered him like a quick answer. And then another question was, what is the work of your fiancé? And I answered. And after that, he said, congratulations, welcome to the United States. And I was like, oh, I felt relieved. Oh my God, welcome to the United States. So right away, after he gave me my passport, right away, I went downstairs to claim my baggage. And in the baggage carousel, thanks to Sir Alex and the terminal manager of Eva Air, I was one of those who claimed their baggage first because they put a priority tag on my baggage or my luggages, even if I'm not a business class passenger. I'm just economy passenger. So thank you so much, Sir Alex, for making the arrangements. And guess what, guys? When I grabbed my luggages, I thought it was like, oh, this is it. But then I was busy connecting my phone to the airport's Wi-Fi. A lady approached me and explained to me that it's just a random inspection. She just asked me if I am carrying certain items that is prohibited, something like that. And so I told her that no, I didn't carry anything, I just carried clothes. And then she said, okay, you may now go through. So after the random inspection, guys, I thought that was it and no more questioning. I would be able to get out of the airport peacefully, but then I was wrong. I still have to go through the customs officer. In the customs booth, I was asked the same questions again. If I am carrying some prohibited items, I just said no, I don't carry anything, I just carry clothes with me. And then the customs officer asked me what was my reason for visiting United States. The same question that the immigration officer asked me, so I just answered very briefly. And then after that, he just released me and just said, welcome to United States of America. And so that was it, guys. I was so happy. I grabbed my bags, and then when I get to the meeters and greeters area, I was panning the room. I was like, where's my fiance? I'm excited. So yeah, and then when I finally got to see him, I was relieved because it was like, finally. It was a long flight. It was a tiring flight. It was a stressful flight. Oh, not really stressful, but in a way, you know, you're traveling alone and you're not getting enough sleep the past few days before your flight. So once you get to the airport, and I mean, once you finally get out of the airport and embrace your fiance, it was like amazing and it was so worth it. So in summary, guys, I recommend that you go to your port of exit 3 hours before your flight. And then second, do not be afraid. You are more than equipped to travel by yourself. As long as you can read signs and as long as you can communicate in English, you will be fine. And then third, have fun. This is your once-in-a-lifetime experience to travel by yourself alone. And I tell you, you will be proud of yourself. So that was my experience, guys, of flying solo to United States. I hope you learned something from me today. And if you found value from what you saw, please consider subscribing, hit the like button, and share this video to your friends. And as always, have a great day ahead of you. Bye!